are Joe and Austin from our SDS office in Spokane, along with our support team members, Bree Hansen and Deb Reed, and Michael Lucia from ReadySub. Today we have over 60 of you joining the webinar. So we're going to be muting individuals so that we don't have background noise happening, but we will allow for a Q&A at the end. We are also recording this webinar and will be sending out an email following the webinar with a summary of the information presented. First and foremost, we want to start with you knowing that we care about you and all that is going on. We know for those that work in the school world that there's tremendous pressure with all the changes, and we wish you well and to take care of yourself. Be safe. And like us, work from home. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Today we are going to go over 8 items, as you can see on the agenda that is up, and we'll be switching back and forth with different individuals presenting. So first off, I am going to turn it over to Joe and Austin, who are going to talk about the first 2 items, a new look and feel to our HR platforms, which would include the job application system, the professional development system, the volunteer application system, and the employee record system. And then we'll also talk about, with that new look and feel, how we're going to operate the existing portals that you're used to logging into alongside of the new platform. So Joe, I'll go ahead and turn that over to you.
Okay, thanks, Sherry. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Today, I want to show you the evolution of the hrmPlus applications. They're evolving in a number of ways, but initially, we're going to focus just on the changes to the look and feel. So here we see the existing hrmPlus job application. It's been a workhorse for you. It's been providing you with many years of faithful service, but I want everyone to imagine this application as a cute little caterpillar. It goes in, puts itself in a cocoon, and then when it comes out in the springtime, here's what it looks like. Here we go. So this home page provides a visually compelling information and instructions, guidance and directions. It's got areas for explanations and background concepts. Now, I realize that most of you on the call today have used these applications for years and you don't require any guidance or instructions. However, if any of you retire or if you expand your team, you're going to gain new team members. And this canvas provides a platform for guidance and instructions for your new coworkers. One thing to notice, as we resize this browser, the entire application flexes and scales in order to utilize the entire browser window body. And the significance of that is that no matter what resolution of computer you use, whether you're stuck with the 10-year-old old one or you've got a fancy new high-speed monitor, this application is going to expand to fill all of the available screen space that you have. Now, before we go specifically into the jobs application, there's one more important topic to discuss. Today, if you utilize more than one hrmPlus application, you have to log into each one separately, even though you're using the exact same username and password. In our new version, we deliver all of the hrmPlus applications as a human resources bundle. So I can click there on the human resources bundle name, and this is now the bundle homepage. So here we see more of the explanations and illustrations, but for all of the applications in the Human Resources Bundle, many of you who've used the HRM products for many years may have forgotten all of the other things that Sherry has to offer. There's the Jobs app, the Professional Development app, there's the Employee Records application. We offer a teacher and principal product to dozens of districts in the state. And by the way, every district who uses our evaluations product came over from the state's eval system. I realize it's free, but sometimes you get what you pay for. So if any of you are on eval, you might want to take a look at the evaluations product. We also have all of Sherry's hrmPlus volunteer app. And the last app in the bundle we're going to show you a little later is ReadySub when we turn it over to Michael. So the idea here is with one login, you can access all of the applications. You no longer have to log into hrmPlus apps separately. Now, further with this idea, notice there's a bar along the top. This is the school data suite navigation. So here you can see not only each of those human resources and hrmPlus apps, but you can also learn about all of the other applications that we offer that combine your data into a single suite of integrated applications. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But let's drill into jobs. Let's look at the Jobs app. The first thing we want to show you in the new version of the Jobs app is that for those of you who engage each application as more than one role. So in software, your user role determines what features and functions you have access to and what you're therefore able to do. Notice in our navigation on the left, we've incorporated all of the different user roles. You can click any role and instantly see all of the features and functions available to you specific to that selected role. We wanted to move beyond just making this pretty. We also want to make it more powerful, faster, and easier to use. So now we'll scroll through some of the screens of the app. As we click through the page, we again have a section dedicated to guidance and explanation. For a new user, there it is at the top. For a new user, this provides them a guided tour. We can use the space to explain the user interface below, or we can use that space to explain background concepts. Now, for you grizzled veterans who don't need this help, you could just click Close Introduction. You can say, I don't need this. I know what I'm doing. I've been using these for years. But in that section, we can also embed videos, and the videos can explain how to use the interfaces, or the videos can explain that background information. So this is where we want to partner with you to say, what information should be provided on each page to a brand new user to help bring them up to speed as quickly as possible. So now let's look at a page with a lot of forms. We can click through the tabs on the page and see a series of forms. Now, every form in the new version is designed to present the exact same form inputs and selectors as what you've used in hrmPlus jobs. The exact same forms. They're the same selectors and the same inputs. We don't want you to have to learn a new interface as you're learning the new look and feel. At this point in the development process, we're only changing look and feel and the utilization of screen space, the visual aspects, but we'll talk about making enhancements and how we'll change how it operates a little later. Okay, this is going to transition us to topic number 2. We've shown a lot of pictures here. Topic number 2 has a smaller number of pictures, but it's pretty important. Here we see the hrmPlus jobs application on one side and the school data jobs application on the other side. So what I'm about to show is very subtle but very powerful. Notice that when we make a change in school data jobs, so, oh, which way are you going, Austin? You're going that way. When we make a change in one side and hit save, we hit refresh on the other side, and that change has occurred over there. So there's Austin McGoldrick. And now we'll make a change on the second side. We'll hit save. And when we refresh the other side, those changes come through. So this is a critical concept. You can use either or both of these applications at the same time, and they will stay in sync. This is crucial to the process of you transitioning from one version of the app to the other. We're not tearing off the Band-Aid. We're not taking you from the safe, warm place you're used to and shoving you into the cold newness of all of our fancy pictures. We're going to coddle you in the transition from one app to the other at your own speed. It is not a hard break. You can move from one to the other. One thing to keep in mind, everybody who uses the new apps, at first it's going to be only your internal users. Sherry wanted me to make sure that we're not handing this off to your folks who are your applicants on the outside just yet. They're going to use the hrmPlus version until you tell us that you're certain that the new version is satisfactory. But by running them concurrently, that lets you test it, that lets you learn it, that lets you go to what you're used to when you're comfortable and go to the new things when you've got the time to really figure out how they work and how they look, although they are designed to operate the same with the same pieces. Okay, that's going to take us to agenda topic number 3, which I will hand over to Sherry in 1 second. We've continued to enhance the HRM apps. And so Sherry is going to go through all of the recent enhancements to the hrmPlus version. So Sherry, take it away.
Thank you, Joe. As always, we have continued to provide enhancements to our products based on your input. Your suggestions continue to be vital to what we do and making our systems work the best for you. That's the most important thing that we do. So we have updates to both the job application system and the professional development system at this time. Both are dated March 31st, although in some cases they have been rolled out for a few weeks, but this is the official release date. With that, let me just give you a quick overview. We did email these out to clients along with the webinar information. They are also placed now on your sites in your resource pages. We're just going to do a quick review of them today. But if you feel that you're new or you just want some additional understanding, you're not quite sure of any item or all of them, all you have to do is email our support@schooldata.net, and our support team will get to you, discuss that with you, do a webinar with you, and or others, whatever you need. So let's take a look at the job application system changes. We did a change in the job screening tool so that now when you're screening and you're using criteria to screen, the minimum and maximum you've set up for that criteria item will now display. So as you screen and you see the criteria element, the minimum maximum available for that score displays, and then you can enter your score. So that's a new feature. We have several new features with the interview tools, and we have quite a few clients now using those. If you're not, I really encourage you to look at using them. They're quite helpful. So based on our client feedback, because this was a newer tool, we've done quite a few changes. We changed it so when you add all applicants to the interview schedule, that add applicant button will go away so you don't accidentally add them again. We've added incremental filtering on several of the drop-down boxes so you can type into that and have the data it come to you automatically. In number 5, this was important. Even though you have applicants that applied for a job, as you know, HR has some applicants on hold for a variety of reasons. And in the interview tool, the system was displaying those persons that were even on hold, which meant somebody could invite them to an interview. So that has been fixed. We also have a new tool on the interview schedule screen where you can click a button and print your actual interview schedule that shows your date and time for each of the persons that have accepted their interview. And a reminder, you're able to set up all of your job interview, the questions, the schedule. When you set up the schedule, you can identify the applicants. It sends them a notice and they accept whatever place is still left and available for an interview. Basically, it automates everything within the interview process. And important to me, as always, is it helps you maintain documentation in line with the federal EEO guidelines of 1978, which have continued to be our Bible forever. So there's other tools that allow you to do some nifty things with your job interview questions, and you can add sorting, and how you see them on the screen will be much more helpful. So lastly, I want to point out number 13 on the list. Under your system manager, you have export information. We have found a new tool that allows us to add more of these quite readily, and our support team can directly do that work. So with that, we have added new export information reports to your system that you should find to be quite helpful with your daily management of your recruiting and hiring activities. And then on number 14, we updated the system message 23, which is the one that goes out when you do a job request and notifies applicants who have that certain preference that this job is now open, and that now includes the posting date. And the last one in here is a new feature that we're actually going to discuss. We call it our jobs board, or WA School Jobs, and we'll go more into that with item number 5. So with that, we'll go ahead and move over to the professional development updates. Here we have a variety of them. Number 1 on the top of the list I want to point out is that we are fully automating everything you have to track with your paraeducator standards. So You have the ability to easily click and identify those in your course request, and lots of reports and other things available to you. I want to shout out to our tech team, to our support team, and especially to Bree Hansen for all of her work in following the OSPI requirements. And she and Deb have been doing a lot of work staying up to date on that and making sure our system complies with what you need for your documentation. Okay, in the Invite Register tool, we have 4 or 5 different options here for you that make using that tool a little bit easier. So be sure to review those carefully. One item is when you set up member groups, you can now use that to properly invite and register people by a member group, such as some group of individuals, whatever that might be, a group working on curriculum or something like that. Here we have also, we'll scroll down to the course attendance area, which is available to the PD managers and instructors, which is basically where you're verifying attendance. We have districts that do use the paid, so we now have a clear all paid button for that. We also can hide the mark paid button, so if you're not using that in your system, you don't have to worry about it and see it. We also have new status buttons on that screen that will allow you to skip a process of having to go out to utilities and change the status of the course. You can now do that directly in the edit screen when you're entering the quote grades or attendance verification. Okay, we'll scroll down a little bit more. We got a few more things, reports and export information. Again, we have updated some reports, so be sure to read that, but I really, again, want to focus on export information. We have added a whole boatload of new export information reports that are now available in your system. Quite a few of those have to do with supporting your work with the paraeducator standards, all of their enrollment and verifying their attendance, et cetera, et cetera. So again, be sure to review each of those. And then we'll just scroll down to the bottom. A couple more reports for you to take a look at. Actually, quite a few, as you can see. We did some custom work for Vancouver with their fund balance and their monetary part of it. We also updated some system messages to include or exclude particular fields that you wanted to have in the emails that go out. And later on, we're going to be talking about how these similar emails can be sent out and or data pushed from our systems to the dashboards. So we'll be talking about that as a new function as well. But that is basically a quick overview of the enhancements to both of those systems. My final note is this. Please, please continue to send your suggestions. So I want to show you what we're looking at for the future. We maintain a plan. You have to have a plan, of course. So we have a plan, and as you can see, we've already put the green on the top 2. So between now and the next year and a half, we have a schedule for releasing enhancements to all 4 of our platforms and with integrating with some other platforms. Right now, as you see these updates, if you're finding something in the systems that you don't want to wait another 2 months for or another 3 months for, just go ahead and let our support team know, because we have prioritized items for those releases. And we'll be glad to take your input as always. So with that, we have taken care of our enhancements and a discussion number 4 of our future enhancements to some degree, but I do want to make a note about the future enhancements with regard to the dual platforms that Joe was showing you earlier. So we have the current HR portals, hrmPlus portals, and then we'll have the new HR bundle with our School Data Solutions platform. As Joe indicated, we'll continue to operate those concurrently, so you can use one or the other. Right now, only the district people, like the district system managers, we want using the new one to test it out and let us know how it flies. Down the road, we will, when we do enhancements, get to a point where, and this will be like a year and a half from now, where enhancements will start occurring only in the new version, the new HR bundle, and not the old portal, so that we can lessen our workload of having to update things in 2 places. But we don't want you to worry. We will continue to do both platforms for quite some time now. So just giving you that nods up for about 1.5 years from now. Okay, and I think with that, I am ready to talk about number 5, the new WAEdJobs board. But before I do that, I'll just ask Joe, was there any other comment you want to make on the enhancements or the dual platforms?
Yeah, thanks, Sherry. I did just want to reinforce really everything that Sherry just said. She really captured it, but I want to be 100% clear, and I'm sure the questions will come up at the end of our presentation today. We'll discuss this more. The enhancements for the 1920 school year, we're focusing all of our effort on enhancing the hrmPlus apps while we concurrently bring the new one along to match its features. Next school year, 2021, we will be enhancing both so that you can use them concurrently throughout the entire 2021 school year, because we know there's going to be that transition point. So we're not pulling back during the entirety of the 2021 school year. Once we reach the 21-22 school year, we are hoping that we'll have all of you transitioned over, at least to the degree that all new enhancements are in the new versions. We'll keep the hrmPlus versions around forever. If any of you have 5 more years in your career and you don't want to switch, we're going to let you finish it out with the hrmPlus versions. However, as of 21-22, we're really going to try to focus all of our resources, all of our developers on enhancements of the new one. So this year it's all about hrmPlus concurrent. Next year it's about dual use, and then 21-22 we're going to try to switch. Know that we're not in the business of making customers unhappy. We'll do whatever you need. That's just kind of our plan, and you'll let us know your plan as we go forward. So that, I think, covers that one. So let's go WAEdJobs.
Thank you. Okay. So many of you have asked us about helping with your recruiting activities. So we would now like to introduce what we call WAEdJobs. So I'll have Austin, our wonderful navigator there. Thanks, Austin. This is a new website that is now available to all hrmPlus clients, period. So all you have to do is let us know you want to have your data up there. What this does is we're going to be pulling all of your data from your job requests, your vacancies, and displaying them in one new location. What this does for applicants is if they're looking for jobs, they're going to be able to come to here, put in their zip code. You can see on the screen, where do you live or where do you want to live? So they can enter a zip code there. And then how far are you willing to commute? Some people might be willing to commute 50 miles, some only 5 miles. They're able to put that in and then click View Openings. And when you click the View Openings, it will display the information of the openings from the various jobs that are available. So this is just a sample of some data from various schools that are associated with hrmPlus. The site's not, quote, live yet, so we're not doing this without your permission. Each district will need to give us their permission to do that, and your follow-up email will give you those instructions. But you can see real easily how it shows a map on the right, and then it shows the job. Now, when you click on a job, it's going to show you further details about the job according to what you have put into your job request document. So then we can see the job description, salary information, details. One of the things that we're going to want to do, of course, this is a brand new tool, is have a few of you take a look at this and let us know what you'd like to have changed in terms of displaying data. So you'll get that invitation in the email as well. So again, just another way to help you extend your recruiting and allow applicants to see all job data in a region, in an area, in the whole state, however they would like to do that. Now, there's a second component to this discussion that I would like to bring to the table with you today. I don't know how many years we have asked the question, is it possible to have one statewide application system for all school districts? And the answer is, of course it's possible, but since I started working with online applications back in the days, which I won't even say that year, but it's a long time ago and it's been well over 30 years, the problem that we have encountered is that districts want to collect different data. and to get them to agree on the same set of data is very difficult. And sometimes the impediment is stuff that you have in your collective bargaining agreement, so it's not even, quote, your fault. And so what we are working toward, and we hope to have available by next school year, is a system where they'll go to the WAEdJobs and they will actually make an application there. And what they will be primarily doing at that point in the system is completing the My Profile page, because we can commonize that type of information. And then, as you're used to how the applicants come into the My Checklist, where each of you have all kinds of different items for the applicants to complete depending on the applicant type, the applicant won't know it, but in the background, they're going to be coming right into your system. So we truly are, and I am very excited about the potential of being able to finally get to that particular solution for you and make it much more easier on applicants to truly make an application in one place and then have it available to multiple districts of interest. So that's pretty exciting news. I do just want to stop and interject real quick on a personal note. For me and our team, moving over to School Data Solutions and integrating with them was a huge leap, a leap of faith. You have to be honest in saying that. But I was so worried about our clients and wanting to make sure everything went well. I could not be more satisfied. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at 99. Everything has gone so smoothly. Support continues to be awesome. As you can now see, the kind of enhancements and development we're able to bring to our clients just has me excited. So thank you to all of you. So with that, that's our item number 5. And speaking of new things, we're really excited to talk to you about a substitute system. So here's the background. Again, for quite some time, you've been asking me, hey, why don't you guys develop a substitute system? Also asked me why not develop a payroll system, but we're not quite in that discussion mode yet. But we have spent quite a bit of time this past year, actually about a whole year, looking at substitute systems. We actually did some work on developing one, and thanks to districts that helped us with the input on that. But when it came down to everything and reviewing what was available, we found a solution that we think is absolutely ideal for our clients and people to become our clients. And it is called ReadySub. And today we're going to do a little demo. But as we do that and we transition here for Michael to present to you, I want to let you know we're just going to do a quick demo today, and then you can request a full demo. Many of you saw us at the WASPA conference. I heard loud and clear many people looking to change their substitute system for a variety of different reasons. And just following that conference, Tahoma, Tequila, Riverview, Cedar-Woolley have all made commitments to move over to ReadySub. Why did we choose this application as a partner? It's important for me to share that with you. I want you to know. Number one for me was the ease of use for you and for your employees and substitutes. They also have a phone app that's very handy to use. Very important to me, I checked on their support. Their support to clients is phenomenal, highly rated. Another cool feature is that for those using our job application system, when you hire a new employee or a new substitute out of the job recommendation tool, we're going to be pushing that data over to ReadySub. What does that mean? That mantra, we hate data entry, and why do we have to continually enter our employee data in multiple places? Here is our first whack at that for you. We're going to be pushing data from the job recommendation right into ReadySub for you. And lastly, I will say the one thing that really impressed me, because I know how to get down into the details, but I heard loud and clear from people the headaches about processing payroll with people that have split account codes. And wow, this system does that to a T. And I checked with clients already using it, and it's eased up that workload tremendously. So I know that was a little bit of a long intro, but I felt it was important for you to know why we made this selection and important why we put our name and attached it with ReadySub. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn that over to Michael. So have at it.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. Yeah, this is Michael Lucia from ReadySub. I am the representative for the company for the Pacific Northwest, and I was going to do just kind of a brief overview of the ReadySub system today. As Sherry mentions, I would love the opportunity to schedule more in-depth demonstrations with any districts that would be interested in taking a look. So for today, just kind of a quick background on ReadySub. So we are actually based out of Seattle, Washington. We were founded in 2014. We've expanded to work with districts in 45 states now, so it's been a pretty exciting ride, but also really have been interested in investing in the features and functionality that Washington districts are interested in, various integrations, and also interfacing with the Westpac system in the best possible way. And so what I wanted to start with is just kind of a quick overview of the 3 different accounts that exist in the ReadySub system. So the first here in Google Chrome of a ReadySub administrator account. So the first thing that we're showing you as a ReadySub admin are what's going on with the open field, any absences pending approval for the current week, and then these tabs down here correspond to whatever date that you're clicked on. So if we're looking at Wednesday, for example, you can see that we have 1 absence pending approval, a couple of open jobs, and a larger number of filled jobs for the day. In the middle browser here, this is an example of a substitute account in the ReadySub system. So as Jeff substitute, I can see that I have 3 jobs for the current week. I can see the number of hours that I'm scheduled. And then down here, this is one of the mechanisms for being able to pick up jobs in ReadySub. Is just right from your dashboard. We will show you all of the jobs that you're available and qualified for. You can review and accept or decline right from this dashboard. And then in the third browser here, this is an example of an employee account. So Riley is a 2nd grade teacher at Harwood Elementary. The first thing that we show her, any absences that she has in the future. She has Jeff scheduled to substitute for her on the 1st. We have an open absence down here. And then the main workflow for Riley as a teacher is to go in and post her own absence. So if we go to absences and then post an absence here, it's basically a step-by-step process. We'll walk through these 4 steps to get the absence in the ReadySub system. The first selection is whether it's a single day or a multi-day. If it's a single day here, we can just go ahead and click one date. We'll choose April 2nd here. ReadySub knows that Riley's from Harwood Elementary and has a set of schedules that she can select. These schedules are totally customizable. So you could have a Wednesday late start, Friday early release. You could have a custom schedule, full day, half day. Whatever times are associated with the schedule, we'll pre-populate it in the start and end times here, but they can be adjusted within the job post. Now the next step here is to select the job reason. And you can see this is a sample set of absence or job reasons, totally customizable. You can see we have a number of settings that correspond to each absence reason. One, you can also see here that we do store leave balances. So ReadySub holistically is a substitute scheduling tool, but also has a ton of leave management features. Leave balances, approvals, you can have designated approvers and so forth, as well as a couple different settings in terms of notes required. And the balances, if they are stored, can be enforced here. So you can see I have 9 days left on sick leave, which I'll go ahead and select. ReadySub knows that I'm a 2nd grade teacher, so it pre-populates that into my job post. And then I have a couple of optional fields that I can choose in terms of the room number and then who the substitute should report to. Now when I click next, I'm on the substitute step here, and this is where I make the decision basically in terms of how I would like the job to go out to substitutes. The first option is what we call post to the pool, and that is basically a notification blast out to the available and qualified substitutes in the network. And ReadySub has a really powerful notification model. We offer text messaging, we offer an automated phone notification, we have a free mobile app that substitutes can download, as Sherry mentioned, and we have email notifications. So 4 ways to get jobs out and get them filled, and the post to the pool is get it out there, get it filled as quickly as possible. The request option here is the ability to choose up to 5 substitutes, and ReadySub will notify them first and hold it for them for a certain period of time. That time period is adjustable depending on district preferences. Now you can see I have one favorite substitute here, Jeff, who pre-populates into all of my job posts. I set him at my account level, but you can also pull in additional people into this job. So a combination of anybody that is your favorites, anybody you'd like to bring in. Then we also have the assign to function, which is basically a pre-arranged absence. So we can go ahead and you would be able to select the specific substitute, or your employees would be able to as part of this. And then we have the no sub option for absences that do not require a substitute. So we'll go ahead and select Jeff here as our requested substitute, click next. And now you can see we're on the notes and attachments section. This is where notes can be added to the substitute, also to the administration. Admins can see both sets of notes. The substitutes can only see the notes that are for them. And then this is where up to 5 attachments can be uploaded. So lesson plan, seating chart, all that good stuff. If we click next here, now we're on the summary step. So it's just a one-day job at Harwood Elementary. It's a full-day schedule under sick leave, and the job position is second grade teacher. If we go ahead and post this here, now this did not require approval, so ReadySub is sending the notifications out, and Jeff is the requested substitute. So you can see here, I am Jeff on my cell phone. You can see that I just received this text message. So go ahead and open the job. Let's go ahead and click the link here to access this job. It'll take us right to the details page as Jeff, and I can review the details of the job and either accept it or decline it. So if I go ahead and accept this through the text message here, now we can notify Riley, the teacher, that the absence has been filled via text message or email, and then also any administrators that would like to receive the notification. So jumping to this email account here, imagine I'm a principal or a front office building administrator. I can go ahead and click on this email, see that it was filled, see that Jeff picked up the job, and I can actually link to it and review the details. ReadySub will remember all users and keep them logged in. And so that's kind of the whole flow for getting an absence in the system, substitute picking up a job, and ReadySub keeping everybody in the loop. I did want to give everybody kind of a quick view into the report section for administrators. So basically above this line here, we have what we call our stock reports, and then below that we have a custom reports feature, which also allows us to integrate with the Westpac system. So just taking a look quickly at the daily jobs report, this is just a quick snapshot of your opens and fills for the day. You can adjust the date range and also print or export this. We also have a really popular stock report for us is the employee absences report. We're trying to offer a unique perspective into your employee absences. So we take the current month as a default. You can adjust the date range to whatever you'd like. We show who has perfect attendance across the top here, as well as a bucketed representation of absences. And then down here, we show you within this date range, who are your most absent to least absent employees. We show you who has perfect attendance. And then if you click on the actual details for Alyssa here, this is where you can see some pretty granular absence information, like the number of hours that she's taking off for each reason. And then down here, you can actually see the days of the week that she's taking off and why. So you can really start to dig in on trends in terms of your employee absences, maybe trends in terms of different days of the week that are being selected. Now jumping to the custom reports functionality here, this is where you can build any combination of custom reports. You can see that I've built a few at the top. Down here at the bottom, this is also where we build out the files that are used to integrate with the Westpac system. Now we have the pay file and the time off file. Time off is for leave, the pay file is for substitute jobs. And if I go ahead and access the Westpac pay file here, this is kind of in line with some of what Sherry mentioned, but in ReadySub, we built a setting into our system that allows when multiple payroll codes, or what we call payroll codes or account codes, are present on a job, we automatically split those out into separate rows within this report. So if you have an 8-hour job, and let's say you have an employee that is a 50-50 split, if this setting is enabled, which we enable for the pay file, we will automatically break that into 2 rows with 1 or 2 4-hour jobs. Each job is associated with the appropriate account code. So I have this account pulled up here, right here. If we take a look at Riley and we go to her settings, so Riley is the employee here, and then we scroll down to her payroll codes tab, you can see that she is a 50-50 split. And so employees can actually have up to 10 codes as long as the percentages equal 100. You can have up to 10 codes, and ReadySub will split those out accordingly. And so if we go back to this Westpac file and we go ahead and run this report here, so imagine we're prepping. I just have this set for April 2nd here, so I was just going to pull a few records, but let's go ahead and run this report. And this, the download file to CSV would be the file format to upload to the Westpac system. I'll pull this into Excel here for a little bit easier viewing. And we'll show you kind of how this works in terms of the splits. So this file may look familiar to many of you, or at least people on the payroll side. So if we scroll over here to the right, I'm just going to find that job that Jeff worked. So you can see Jeff worked that job that we filled. It was a 1-day job, and it was an 8-hour job. We automatically broke it out into 2 4-hour jobs because Riley was a 50-50 split. As part of this report. So, really, again, trying to invest in the integrations with various systems in the state of Washington, the Westpac system, and school data solutions, and the hrmPlus systems as well. So really excited to team up with, Joe's team, Sherry's team, and support, some mutual customers. So that's pretty much the brief overview for today. If anybody would like a more in-depth demonstration, would love to set something up.
Thank you, Michael. And information on requesting that demo will be again in the follow-up email that we send out to you. Speaking of integration, I want to make a quick comment about 2 other products that we're going to be integrating with. So, Austin, while I'm doing that, if you could bring up the agenda, that would be great. Thank you. So, some of you have heard of eCore. That's the automated system for processing the sexual misconduct forms, both for your new hires and the annual sweep for your substitutes, and also the verification of employment online, the VOE, which automates the whole process of verifying experience for employees coming into your systems. We are also have on our work list, if you didn't happen to catch it earlier, integration with them. So not only are we going to be pushing data to ReadySub, but when you hire somebody, we're going to push that data over to eCore to process the sexual misconduct, and we're going to push that over to VOE to process the verification of employment. If you're not currently using those products and have an interest, they have a free period. There's also a period where, with the VOE, where responder districts can always use it for free. But we can provide that information to you and get you set up with those folks to see that. But the most important part is you can see this push that we're making to be able to take data that is provided by an applicant, take data that you've added to it, and then move that data to other tools that you use on a regular basis. And that's part of our integration platform work that we're working on. Again, it's something that really excites me a lot. And speaking of integration, School Data Solutions has a tool called Homeroom Dashboards. And I'm going to let Joe Tamsey take that over and talk to you about what in the world are Homeroom Dashboards.
Okay, thanks, Sherry. So many of you in the human resources departments may not realize, but School Data Solutions is providing data service to most of your districts already. We pull data every night for about 74% of all students in the state of Washington. So then what we do is we combine all of that data into this suite of integrated applications that we've been showing you all the different ways things combine. As a brief example of the full integration, I'm here looking at a high school teacher dashboard. And so the high school teacher dashboard is where today people can go and see data about their students. Notice here on the widgets, we can look at their schedule, their student learning plans, their 504 plans, graduation requirements, MAP tests, assessment tests, all of that data. And that's all on very configurable, personalized widgets. So as I scroll down, I'm a teacher, I see my schedule. We'll look at a few things. I see individual test scores about my kids, whatever tests those are. Let's see what's next. I think I see ELPA 21 tests. It used to be WLPT, now it's ELPA 21. I can see SATs and PSATs, which plays into all the new high school and beyond grad requirements. I've got MAP tests. All of these things are very configurable. All these displays, custom attendance displays, custom risk indicator displays. But what matters to you as the HR folks is at the bottom, we've integrated data from the other apps we're looking at today. Here is a teacher. Not only do I see every piece of data about my student, but I also see all of the ProDev courses available to me and any ProDev course that I have completed. And notice we've got that cheddar triangle. You need to award clock hours to these folks. Well, we can put on their one dashboard where all the data is combined a prompt to tell them if they want their clock hours, they need to complete that evaluation within some number of days. We can also surface to teachers which volunteers are available to help them. Who are the folks that you have already vetted and made sure are there? Oops, I got out of order, volunteers at the bottom. So when a volunteer runs out of their 2-year approval state, they're going to drop off. They won't be there. So you can surface to them the volunteers. We can also add in their contact information, whatever information you want. And just to show integration, we put the open jobs for a teacher. Now, you may not want to advertise jobs to your teachers. You want to keep them just where they are. Maybe you only surface this on the people that you're looking to move to the district next door. I'm kidding. Anyway, we can surface data on here, but also now, thanks to this relationship with ReadySub, we can integrate onto one dashboard. As the teacher figures out their focus for today and for this week with their students, they can also focus on what they're doing next week and making sure to see whether their scheduled absences have been fulfilled by certain substitutes. And then from here, click through to begin that communication process for a seamless transition when they have someone else take over their class. So just to show you this idea, we're integrating all of the data from all of your systems. We pull data from Westpac every night. We pull data from all of these different sources. We're integrating with more partnership companies, and we're transforming all of the HRM apps into one integrated suite of applications. So we're trying to eliminate the double entry wherever we can, and trying to give people one stop to get to all of their data, that there they can step off and do the engaging of the ReadySub system, the engaging of the job system, and all of that. The last topic on our agenda is one more form of integration, and that's with authentication. So all of you know that you've got 17 different usernames and passwords to all kinds of things. And so what we wanted to show you is what we've done with a number of larger districts around the state, but this feature is available to everyone. We can actually integrate into your district authentication scheme. So here in Seattle, instead of logging into school data, they click the Authenticate with District account. And what this does is this takes them to something Seattle Public Schools has made available, that once you log in with your district account, you are then logged into all of your school data apps, and we're extending this to all of the hrmPlus applications. There's another example at Evergreen. Now, I know these are larger districts, but it doesn't have to be a large district. We just need to work with your IT department, whether that's one guy or a whole team. It doesn't matter to us. But what you do is you log in through the district authentication, which enables you as human resources to deactivate an occasional account, and now their access to everything we offer has been rescinded until you say so. So every one of these apps can be accessed through your district account. We have done this in a lot of big districts on the school data side. In the hrmPlus side, we've also integrated authentication directly into the hrmPlus versions of the apps. That was at South Kitsap, I believe. So just know that if you're tired of maintaining multiple accounts and passwords, we're able to tie in every single one of these apps into your district account. You just have to let us know and give us a couple days with your friendly IT person. We'll let programming guys talk to programming guys, and that will save you a lot of time. I think that's the end of everything I have to talk about. I'll hand it back to Sherry, and then I think we'll open it up for questions.
Thank you very much to the whole team. Amazing, we were staying right on schedule, so thank you very much. I hope you have found this information helpful. I'm just going to do a real quick overview again of the agenda that we took a look at today. I'll have Austin pop that up real quick, and then I'd like to go back to the screen you're on. Thanks, Austin. So we did take a look at the new look and feel to the HR platforms called our HR bundle now. And the most important thing for you to know is that you'll be able to start using it shortly, and take a look at the feel, give us feedback. But again, that is just for your internal use and not for applicants. We're going to be running those things, as we said. Number 2, side by side. You can use both of them. We'll never take the HRM portals away if you want to stay with them until you retire, whenever. But we are going to obviously over time move to the new look and feel. But you've got at least the rest of this year and all of next school year to continue, and then we're going to push you more and more to go to that new platform. So we'll see how that goes. As always, we appreciate your suggestions. Just can't encourage you enough to continue sending those our way. So we reviewed the updates to the job app and ProDev. We do have more enhancements on our schedule for both of those, as well as the volunteer system and the employee record system. So continue to watch for announcements on those enhancements. As we discussed about the future enhancements, they'll continue to roll out in both platforms until the 2021-22 school year. Who thought I'd ever say that? So that's like a year and a half away. We looked at our brand new tool, the WAEdJobs tool, really excited about that, and even to me more exciting down the road to possibly really and truly have a single application base statewide. And we had a great little demo from Michael with our new ReadySub partnership, and not only showed you that product, but shared the wonderful news that where you're using the job application, job recommendation tool, we will be using that to move your data over to the ReadySub, as well as to the eCore and to the VOE programs. And then the last 2 items that we covered with Joe was giving you in HR a better understanding of what the school data solution dashboard tools are. School Data Solutions has a lot of products available, including the employee evaluation Joe mentioned above for those HR folks that are on board, and several of our clients are already using that. So, but that dashboard is really neat, that a person can go one place and see all their information. Not only that, but we can send messages out. So we can, in addition to what they see on the dashboard as data, we can have prompts at the top of the screen. You need to do your evaluation for this course. And we can send out an email message from the data in the system to various persons. We can set all of that up based on what you request. Do know that usually there is a dashboard coordinator person in your school district, and we will work with you and with them to make any changes to the dashboards. And all of the School Data Solutions clients have an appointed representative from SDS, School Data Solutions, you'll hear me say SDS, that works directly with them. So we'll do that. And that's also true of the authentication or the single sign-in that we've already completed with South Kitsap, and have 3 other districts on the list that are already wanting to do that. Most importantly, we will be sending out an email with a summary of all of this so that you can share it. It will include a link to the recording of this webinar. And hopefully we have provided you with a lot of information, and I think you can hear in my voice why I'm so excited. And my excitement is for all of you, because I remember well the work that you do every single day. And anything we can do to make that easier for you is definitely our mission. What I'd like to do now, and we do have a lot of people on board, is we will be unmuting all of you. So be mindful of that if you have background noise. And then we can ask to see if you have any questions. So we've got one came up. From Kathy at Bellingham. Any thought of developing electronic signatures? We are trying to figure out how to verify attendance for online pro dev. Kathy, that is on our suggestion list. So with that, we will make a note that you asked about that today. That's a perfect way to segue, and I didn't even set that up with her, so thank you very much. Okay, so you can chat up questions using the webinar tool or just ask.
And Sherry, while questions come through, I want to talk a little bit more about that electronic signature. We're able to do electronic signatures right now. It's simply a question of what constitutes to your HR department a valid HR signature. So we can have them click buttons. We know that they're authenticated users, therefore we know who they are. We've had different districts who question whether they want an increased level of scrutiny. So when you buy a house and you sign documents for a mortgage, you go out to DocuSign. Well, DocuSign is an even greater level of scrutiny that they're applying, but it's a very significant cost. So the answer to the question is, you decide what level you want as far as electronic signature, and we can absolutely build that. We just want to make sure that we're doing something sufficient to your needs. So if you decide as an authenticated user what you want that screen to say and what you want the buttons and prompts to say, the moment we get that defined with you, we will put in electronic signatures. We have the capacity right now.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Joe and Kathy. We will have one of our support team contact you about that. Okay, next question. Okay, I'm just assuming you're all awed by everything we did, and we did a wonderful job. Just kidding you. I just want to thank you very seriously for your time today. Again, we certainly understand the mode that you're in and want to do anything we can to help, and we have done that. Where some people even have computers at home that limit what they can do with their products, we've been able to provide that additional support. So don't hesitate to think about our support team as you're sitting there doing whatever you're trying to accomplish right now, and normally you would do in your office and you're trying to do from home. So I'll just ask Joe, anything else for the good of the order?
Excuse me, Sherry?
Yes, go ahead.
This is Tricia from Bethel.
Yes.
Hi, I just have a question. Something I'm always thinking about is when we reconcile the attendance in HRM, you know how you have to click on the pencil each time and then scroll down to the bottom to verify?
Yes.
Is that process going to be any better in the new system?
I believe that's on the next ProDev release.
That's one that gets asked by everybody. So
Yeah,
we have
everybody
elevated
wants
that
that, so.
to an urgent fix. So
Okay,
We
great. Thank
focused real hard on the para stuff this year, and then getting a lot of reports that support or this release and supporting the para and a few fixes. That was our big focus. But the entire attendance verification process is a focus in our next ProDev release.
you. Okay.
And just to clarify that, that's a good example of an area that we will make that fix in the hrmPlus version as we move it to the new version. So we're going to want to keep really refining the processes in the new version. But for that example, we absolutely make that change in the hrmPlus version for this year and next year before you transition.
Okay.
Okay,
And
other
then,
questions? Okay, I think I'm not hearing any, but again, we want to thank you for being on board today, and 4 minutes short of our 1 hour mark, so great to go. We'll send you out that email with the recorded link, and again, stay safe, stay home, be well. Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.